Good morning, everyone. It's time to go on the record.
First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls, and how he got up here, there's far too many people. Anyway.
Donald Trump, the skunk at the second GOP garden party, will talk about the candidates and who's on the rise after that showdown. As for the Democrats,
Hillary Clinton's campaign woes. Can she recover?
I've learned a lot about domestic violence over the past year.
That is Patriots owner Robert Kraft, who sets the standard for the NFL as he joins with Attorney General Maura Healey to fight domestic violence. And heavy lies the head that wears the crown. New University of Massachusetts President Marty Meehan dealing with angry students and new fee hikes. He's our guest today.
From WCPB Boston, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill. Today's newsmakers are going on the record.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ed Harno, and along with News Center 5's political reporter Jenna Ruth. Thank you for joining us. Our guest, as you can see this morning, is Marty Meehan. He held the title of congressman for 14 years, chancellor of UMass Lowell for 8 years, and for 4 months, he has a new title, president of the University of Massachusetts. Great to see you.
Great to be here.
The tan looks good. You looks like you've lost some weight. You're ready to go.
I am ready to go.
42 rounds or something.
Thanks for being here this morning. You've already gotten into a bit of a tiff with Beacon Hill, even though you've only held office for a couple of months here, and it's all been over fee hikes. You've raised it more than 5%. It depends on campus to campus. At University of Massachusetts Lowell, it's a 7.9% bump. Is there a compromise, or do you think you will just have to suffer the political consequences down the road?
We actually went 2 years without any fee increases at all, and that's when Bob Corrett had proposed 50-50 financing. And we would like to find a way to keep these even or reduce them if we could, but that's a function of how much money the state provides. You know, it's interesting. Governors negotiate cost of living increases for our employees, but in this case, they haven't funded them yet. So it's a matter of coming to an agreement on how much state support is sufficient and then you know, how much the university can do. But basically, we want to keep them as low as we can. If you look at the last 3 years, UMass has increased their fees an average of 1.6% a year. Nearly every public university in Massachusetts have increased their fees more often. Part of the difficulty is UMass seems to get a lot of attention on the fee increases, but we're going to try to get as low as possible. But also, we want high quality. UMass is a research engine that drives the economy of the state. We do over $600 million worth of research. We are not going to lower standards, and we're not going to lower quality.
But Beacon Hill is not listening to these arguments. And are you ready and prepared to try to go to the wall on this and then suffer the political consequences down the road, because you know that, I mean, you used to be a politician, you know what it's like.
Well, actually, I think the legislative leadership in the governor have been very good.
So you think you can win
legislature?
This
one? Well, the fees were set in June. The budget has already been set. The fees have already been paid. If the legislature gives us some money over and above our collective bargaining agreements, then we could give some kind of a refund potentially, but they would have to provide the money for that. You can't, during the middle of an academic year, say, well, we admitted 73,000 students. We're going to send letters to 2,000 saying, sorry, but you can't come here. I think that political leadership would be more concerned then. I will say, you're right. I was in politics once, and there wasn't ever a time when I was in politics where I was in favor of a fee increase. In fact, I was all for reducing them. Politicians are always against fee increases, and that's just the way it is. That's why the great public universities of America have a board of trustees and a little bit of independence so judgments can be made. We want to be efficient. We've instituted efficiencies that have saved $288 million. We're looking for other ways to institute efficiencies. But we're not going to lower the quality.
What's your? That sounds like a mighty challenge that you're talking about. Is that your biggest challenge as president of the UMass system? These fees, this issue, is it student enrollment? What is your biggest?
Well, it's
issue?
not enrollment. Actually, the number of applications coming into UMass has skyrocketed.
Right.
The demand for UMass education has never, ever been higher. In fact, we're into an era where people are starting to look at a college or university education the way they would purchase a car or buy a home. They are looking at the rankings of the universities, they're looking at return on investment, and when they look at that, we do extremely well. There are private institutions in this state and around the country that charge 2 and 3 times as much money, and academically we're rated highly. So my major challenge is to make sure we hire the best people that we can, to make sure we increase the number of tenured track faculty members, do it as efficiently as he can, but see those rankings continue to go up. I think UMass should be a world-class university. It's a top 100 in the world, but I want to see that keep rising.
Let's look at this from the point of view of the parents and the students. For a very long time, public universities used to be the haven for the middle class. That is no longer the case. As you point out, other states are rising very quickly, but UMass is also, if not the fees, the tuitions, et cetera. What can you tell Massachusetts parents right now that you are willing to do to slow down this growth and make it more affordable for them to send their kids to UMass?
Well, first of all, we're going to fight to get as much state money as we can. We're also fighting to increase our endowment so we have more scholarship money for our students. There's a sticker price, but once students who are in need come to the university, we provide significant scholarships. The other thing that we intend to do is be efficient however we can be. Sometimes it might be consolidation. We've saved millions of dollars by buying our utilities and electric and gas in different ways, doing it as a campus, procuring with campuses all together. So we're going to continue to be as efficient as we can. But I will tell you, parents are increasingly deciding UMass is the best return on investment we could make, and it's much better than the competition, either private or public, anywhere in the country.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just, you want to continue on that?
I just wanted to say, you talk about raising money, raising endowment. You're known for being able to raise a lot of money. Have you set a target goal on how much you're going to bring in through raising money as opposed to raising tuition and fees?
I want to see
our
endowment. I want to see our endowment over the next few years go over $1 billion.
It's at what, $750 million now?
Yeah, it's about $768 million. I want to see that go over $1 billion. I want to see us increase the number over the next 3 or 4 years. I'd also like to provide more scholarship money for students, and we do want. And I'm going to continue to fight as hard as I can to try to get more state money, to look for more efficiencies. You know, as I mentioned, all of our universities are about people. And all of our contract negotiations are conducted by the governor's A&F office. And so it's really difficult, since a major expense that we have are people, we don't even have direct control over that.
I just want to ask you about, you know, Janet talks about tuition and the debt that students carry, and that's a significant step. Campus security is a big question. I'm not suggesting there's been a problem on UMass, but Delta State University had a problem this week. There was a shooting on campus. Of course, everyone knows what happened at Virginia Tech. Campus security is an issue that is a major issue for all colleges.
It is a major issue. It's one of the reasons why we're investing more resources on security, more money into technology. As our campuses become more diverse, we're investing more money on diversity programs so we have an inclusive community. So that's why the cost of education...
Well, it's difficult to find the balance, isn't it? Because campuses should be open and should be receptive, and professors' doors should be open all the time. You
look for best practices at universities around the country, but every university has to be on guard for that. The final point, Janet, that I would like to make, if you factor in inflation over the last 3 decades, a UMass education, factoring in inflation, actually has not gone up. It's stayed about the same or slightly gone down. What has shifted is who pays for it. Tuition and fees. Yeah. It has actually gone down when you factor in inflation, which is reasonable. What has shifted, when I was a student at UMass Lowell, 88% of the budget was funded by the state. What has shifted is who pays for it has gone largely from the Commonwealth to students and their families. That's the challenge that we face.
You ready for the OTR Pop Quiz?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. That seems to be the common response. Oh, boy. All right, today's the OTR Pop Quiz, the Ivory Tower, former politicians who have become college presidents. Gee, I wonder who that means. Number 1, this former college president is being portrayed by actor Benedict Cumberbatch in the new movie Black Mass.
That would be William N. Bulger.
Who actually in the movie is being called the chancellor of UMass, but he was the president.
Well, actually, in most systems, the head of the system is a chancellor.
Right. But in this one, it's the president from 95 to 2003. Question 2, the former head of the New School in New York says this about being a college president, and I'm quoting here. You don't feel dirty when you're soliciting money for a university, and you do when you're soliciting money for a political campaign. Who made this observation?
It sounds like Senator John Kerry, Bob Kerry.
Bob Kerry, exactly. The former Nebraska senator and governor at the New School from 2001 to 2010. We continue with Marty Meehan. Stay with us.
2 for...